So, Italy, Europe, the world. Oh, look, nice river. So, have just been up and over the Alps, which was nice. Started off with about 28 degrees at the bottom and ended up about 6 degrees at the top, and it was pretty much snowing. Wet snow, not nice snow. And I thought about stopping and putting on my wet weather gear. I thought, fuck it. I could see some blue sky ahead, so I didn't bother. And it wasn't actually too bad. It was just a couple of kilometres from the top, then at the top on either side. Well, it was actually sunny right at the top for about 20 metres. Yeah, so just plugged the microphone in, so see how that sounds. Probably a bit shit, probably lots of wind noise, I imagine. But yeah, so this is the second day of the European adventure. A much more pleasant day. So yesterday started off in Folkestone after catching up with a friend there and seeing his soon-to-be mother child, and then got the Channel Tunnel across. But because of all this stuff that's happened in Europe with bombings and fucking ISIL, windowsill. Oh fuck, I made myself a target now. Mocking ISIS. Nice little dam. Yeah, so because of all the shit going on in Europe, they just had ridiculous, well, maybe it is ridiculous, but increased security measures, probing everything, which means that even though I got there before the time that it says is the last check-in, they still put me on, oh shit, they still put me on a ferry 3 times later, or 3, not a ferry, it wasn't even a fucking train, Channel Tunnel, drive the ferry through the tunnel. Anyway, 3 trains later, so that delayed me by pretty much an hour and a half anyway, and I already had a good 7 hours of motorway just chewing up the miles to get through, and so it was just motorways all day, which was alright, but I was stopping quite a lot. In the first few hours I stopped probably every half an hour, just faffing around with the bike trying to get this Wunderlich wind deflector working properly, which I haven't managed to do. Because the standard GS screen, if you're over about 5 foot, is really quite shit. You get lots of buffeting, and no one likes a good buffet. So yeah, if you're not following traffic, if you've just got the road to yourself, it's not actually too bad. But I've tried it at the lowest setting, it will go, at the highest setting, pushing it forward, pushing it back, tilting it forward, tilting it back, and I mean, I guess it does make a little bit of a difference, but not a lot. So £70 well spent. Yeah, so it didn't get rained on, which was good, and then ended up in Bourg-en-Bresse, which is famous for chickens, apparently. So the tastiest chickens in the whole of France. and you might have seen it on the video from yesterday, but they've got a big stainless steel framed chicken statue. And you know, like in New Zealand, you've got, I don't know, is it Okuni's got the carrot and big plastic carrot. Someone's got a plastic LMP bottle and pyro, and you know, fucking sheep and things. Yeah, this place has got stainless steel chicken. So anyway, Bourg-en-Bresse. Stayed in this listed sort of like motorway roadside inn. And it was, I mean, average hotel, nothing special whatsoever. And the hotel actually smelt, well, the room smelt like, don't get me wrong, it's weird, but the chemicals that are or the smell of cocaine, the room smelled of cocaine. So I tried licking the walls and that. So there, I actually slept for like 9 hours and was up an hour and a half late, slept with my alarm. Probably because I had my ridiculous earplugs in, so I just didn't hear it anyway. But before that, so I'll take you back, go back. In Folkestone, stayed in Southcliffe, in Folkestone, a place called the Southcliffe Hotel, which, if you're ever getting the Channel Tunnel and you need to stay in Folkestone for the night, and you're thinking about staying at the Southcliffe, don't. It reminds me of student flats. You know, the smell of student flats when you come back after the term and the landlord's painted it, but it still looks fucking terrible, and the carpets are like something out of a horror movie. Yeah, that's the Southcliffe. And it was just full of chavs, like proper English chavs, like English football shirts, tattoos, like British Bulldog tattoos, and yeah, just skinheads. And there's a bar downstairs, and they were just getting pissed all night, and you could hear them. It was fucking terrible. Anyway, the weirdest thing about it was the lift. So there's a lift. It's over like 4 floors. 4 floors or 4s? It's over 4 floors, and the lift is one of the strangest things of contraptions I've ever seen / been in / feared for my life in. It was literally like a 1 meter wide by half a meter deep box. It was like something out of The Shining. It's got these little like doors that don't even close properly, and there's no safety at all. But it's just a tiny little lift. And so the actual lift capacity was 3 people, I think it was, and they rated it for 220 kilos. But in England, like, that's probably 1.5 people, given how obese the majority of the population, and especially the majority of the people that are staying at the Southcliffe. That's probably fucking big man Tony and his little 3-year-old boy Wayne, and that's the weight limit done. So yeah, it's this rickety old thing, and I really wasn't sure it was actually going to get me up there on the 3rd floor. The view, like, it's actually right on the waterfront. Like, the view's quite nice. So it's quite nice waking up and literally just looking over the road, and there's the English British Channel. It was all flat as a pancake. There was nice bits of mist. Yeah, it was just a building. Yeah, I think it should be condemned. But bless them though. I mean, the people working there were lovely. Little lady down in the basement doing breakfast. It was just like a greasy spoon. Apart from she was calling you sir. It was great. Yeah. The walks, I went and caught up with a friend Frank in Sandgate, which was great seeing him. I haven't seen him for a couple of years. Little castle up there. And I got a taxi back to Folkestone, walking up. Got dropped off about 200 metres from the hotel. So walking up, and it's another bar just up the road from the South Cliff. Ooh, look at that. That's right nice, isn't it? And it was about 12:30, 1. This is a Friday night. So there's heaps of like properly pissed people. And I mean, I've been away from England for a while, so I don't know where these people are. But I guess they're just going over to Calais to fill up their cars with booze and come back the next day, maybe. I don't know. Anyway, they're all getting like proper on it at this bar, and there's this girl. Well, there's two couples. I call them couples. I don't think they were official, but it wasn't on Facebook. They're not in a relationship on Facebook. But yeah, they're obviously having a heated discussion, an argument, and she's like, in a like properly shabby voice, she's like, "But you're mine. I bought you a drink. That means we're together." And he's like, "What do you mean? What do you mean, Sharon?" She's like, "Wayne, fuck off. I bought you a drink. I've wasted my money. That means you're mine." It was some of the funniest bar conversations that I've heard in a while. Anyway, that lasted all of about 30 seconds as I was walking past, keeping my head down, trying not to get in a fight, and get my head kicked in by Wayne and Wayneetta. Yeah, and so before getting to Folkestone, drove there from sunny Seaton in Devon at my mum and dad's place, and looks like a big block of ice cream, chunk of ice cream, chocolate ice cream. Yeah, thought it would take about 4.5 hours. Went the scenic route from Seaton to Portsmouth. And it turns out the traffic and the roads in Devon are pretty shit. I mean, if there was no one on them, they'd actually be great. So the roads are actually alright. But there's just way too many people in England. Far too many people for these roads. I don't know where they're all going. It was 5 o'clock, well, like, whatever it was, like 4 o'clock on a Friday afternoon. I was heading towards London and I thought everyone would be heading out of London, but I mean, which they were, because the opposite direction was just as busy, but it was fucking rammed. Ram-a-dam-a-ding-dong. But yeah, pleasant enough trip. Well, look at this, Italy. Ooh. It's dropped about another 10 degrees. So, it doesn't tell me where we are on the map. But we're on the way to, on the A4, to Milano. But we're getting off before then. I can't even remember the name of the town we're going to. You're coming with me. It's a black hole or something. It's weird. Anyway, so on the way to Florence, that's the goal. That's the Krypton factor. Got to stop the clock for a wedding in Florence of my concura on Tuesday. So going to wherever I am going today, and then should have about a 3-hour ride into Florence, and yeah, I can get off the bike for a couple of days. Enjoy Florence. On Tuesday, get into the wedding. It's going to be about 1,000,000 degrees, so I'm ready to sweat like a rapist. Like a rapist outside a schoolyard. It doesn't really make much sense, does it? I mean, rapists. And if you're a child rapist outside a schoolyard, obviously. But if you're a normal rapist, if you're a rapist doesn't mean you're a paedophile, does it? It's like a paedophile outside a schoolyard. We can take that offline. Yeah, I was going to go to Genoa, but looking into it, the Italian coastline, I mean, it looks alright. It looks just like it's overrun with people, and I think I'd rather be in places that aren't overrun with people, to be honest. Coming back to England, previous times, fucking gets my agoraphobia going anyway, so I don't like being around people at the best of times. But yeah, I imagine, well, it's from what lots of people say about Rome and all that, it's just ridiculously busy, so didn't really fancy staying there, especially with the immigrant problem. Not to be racist, but everyone has just, well, lots of people have told me that there's a really bad immigrant problem, like all through Italy. And I mean, that's fair enough, they've got to be somewhere and they're just trying to get somewhere and they want a better life and all that. But apparently, yeah, the crime rate's just gone through the roof. And so I really don't want to risk anything happening to the bike. Oh, no, waterfall. So, yeah, just play it safe. Safe, mate, safe! And won't tempt fate. So, going to, yeah, wherever I'm going, which looks, by all accounts, a beautiful little village, town, with a nice little river running through it, and a cathedral, and got a pretty reasonably priced hotel that doesn't look like a prison and hopefully has more than a 2-man lift, and hopefully there won't be any people with skinheads, tattoos and England tops. Yeah. So this is all getting that interesting now. Countryside coming out the hills into the foothills. So